coming up this week.
4, 3, 2, 1, green flag.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome to episode 194 of the EV Resource Podcast. I'm Zach Hurst, and each week I bring you the latest EV news, information, and interviews with industry experts. This week, I have a special report on the Washington, D.C. Electric Vehicle Grand Prix, an educational program for high school students from Washington, D.C., Maryland, Ohio, and Virginia. In this competitive program, student teams learn and apply science, technology, engineering, and math to construct and race battery electric vehicles around a closed-course racetrack. I attended the Grand Prix in Washington, D.C. this past weekend at RFK Stadium and caught up with engineering teacher Thomas Segrist of Wheaton High School and the Society of Women Engineers to learn all about it. What can you tell us about the vehicles and the program overall?
Well, they have a limitation in terms of what batteries they're allowed to use, up to 73 pounds of sealed lead acid batteries. And the kids, they get a kit, and then they have to make modifications, and they have to make it as efficient as they possibly can. So with those 73 pounds of batteries, they have to run for an hour and get as many laps in as they can in that 1 hour. So our kids, they are designing things, they're putting together stuff in CAD, they're testing things, they're running a CNC machine, they are pulling data and constantly looking at ways and testing things to see what makes it better. It's engineering, it's science, it's math, it's even a little bit of arts because of the cover designs, all balled up into one, and they have to come together as a team across the year and put together all kinds of things. The competition isn't just the race. There's best technical innovation. There's an award for the Women in Engineering, Science and Engineering Award, I should say. They have awards for best graphic design. They have fastest lap. They have all kinds of things for these kids to really get involved. And I'll tell you, for my students, we've been doing this for quite a while now, and it has really been a springboard into building their confidence in themselves and in what they do, and realizing that they, are extremely capable and race car drivers, which they didn't even know that they'd ever be, which is really exciting. Tons of fun for me. Kids who come in and don't know how to turn the drill the right way to make sure you get a hole, and they leave, teaching the next group of kids how to do, alignments and, swap out batteries and all kinds of things.
So this is a high school age program, but it's a club. It's not something that's necessarily a part of any of the classes that they're taking, right?
Nope, not part of the classes. The classes do support them. So at our school, we have an engineering academy. They actually take a class on introduction to engineering, which is, how to think like an engineer, the design process, and how to communicate like an engineer with CAD and the drawings. And they learn how to 3D print, and they learn, principles of engineering in another class. And then they have a class on civil engineering and architecture or aerospace, all kinds of stuff that all kind of supports what they end up doing. But I like to see my kids show their passions and things that they enjoy, and they really get to pour themselves into these extracurricular things that they're interested in. So the best thing ever as a teacher, to get your kids doing some things that aren't necessarily in the classroom, but are related.
The EV Grand Prix is having a significant impact on the students. Those like Johanna, a soon-to-be graduating senior of Harrisonburg High School in Virginia, who has decided to continue studying engineering in college.
For me, my experience with EV Grand Prix has just been incredibly important to me. Especially in the times leading up to the race, there have been weeks where I'll just spend hours in the shop working on the cars, and I love that time. And it's also, joining the team and being on it has made me decide to major in engineering and continue to do engineering. So I'd say it's made a huge impact in what I've done.
While the electric cars from all the teams are required to comply to a set of rules, there is still enough variability allowed in the design of the vehicles for students to apply creativity through testing of different designs to see what will yield the best results. And this year, it seems that Harrisonburg High School has it all figured out.
Yes, so our most recent competition was the Shenandoah Valley EV Grand Prix. It's out of the Electric Cooperative about 10 minutes outside of Harrisonburg, and our cars took first and second place.
What advantages would you say you guys had as a team that allowed you to finish 1-2?
So, for one, our cars are fairly efficient. As far as the spectrum of builds go, ours are very tightly constructed. And we've made some modifications to the electrical circuits that help them run more efficiently. We also had a better set of batteries for one of our cars that we'd purchased in past years and have been approved for use. And then our other advantage is that our drivers know what they're doing. Some of the teams, especially that are newer, are just kind of going in circles around the track as many times as they can. Whereas ours, we're actually thinking about how can I drive most efficiently? What's the best line to take here? And then our third advantage is that we have real-time data being sent from our car to the pit, so we can adjust our strategy accordingly to know, oh, we're using too much power, oh, we're not going fast enough.
And with that data, are you able to communicate with whoever happens to be driving the vehicle at the time?
Yes, we keep a call going between a couple people in the pit and the driver at all times.
The more I spoke with the teams, the more I learned about the small changes and improvements they were making to their cars as they learned.
So I'll give you one of our secrets this year, because it won't be a secret after this year, but the 73 pounds of sealed lead acid batteries, they have a battery that they recommend. It's a 26 amp hour, 12 volt battery from Chrome Battery. We did some research and found a 12 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery that weighed a lot less. So we have 4 of those batteries in series and 2 sets of them.
Okay.
Whereas everybody else just has the 4 batteries that are 26 amp hours. Ours are 4 15.6 amp hour batteries, but we get 2 sets of them.
Gotcha.
So when we have 2 sets of them, that kind of gives us a lot more amp hourage, and that makes us 36 pounds lighter, which should benefit us greatly. Aerodynamically, there are teams that choose to adjust their cars. We cut off the back of ours. I kind of think maybe we shouldn't have. There are teams that will have a dome over their car. You do not have to use the cover that they give you. And we have a team that's working with Carderock Naval Surface Warfare Center. They're helping us out they do obviously a lot of fiberglass models there. And so they're going to help us make a model of a new design for our cover.
Wow.
Hopefully next year that'll be something that we do.
Perhaps the biggest takeaway I had from my time with the Electric Vehicle Grand Prix was that there's a lot more that is taught through a program like this than just the science of vehicle design. Sometimes you do have great years like we have seen with Harrisonburg High School, where it seems like everything is going right. But it's when the students face challenges that they learn maybe the most important lessons of all.
Failure is a big part of it, right? So we had a kid that spent a lot of time 3D printing wheel covers, kind of making like that Tesla designed wheel cover, a little more aerodynamic. The first version did not work out. We got about 20 laps in and it came off. We learned from it. We've gone back to the drawing board. I think we're actually going to change up what material we use for that. It's not on our car right now, but it's something that we'll do later. You know, as much time as we spend trying to make sure we don't short our batteries or anything, I think we short just about every set of batteries that we get. You know, we added some silicone battery terminal covers this year and Anderson connectors so that we wouldn't. And before I got here today, it sounded like they may have shorted a set of batteries. Again, I don't know what happened.
Right.
Everybody's safe. Nobody got hurt, but it happens, right? But you learn from the adversity and you have to adjust your plans accordingly. And one of the greatest teachers is failure, right? You learn from the successes, but you also learn a lot from the failures. I'm just beyond proud of these kids for being here and having cars that were, competing and having fun. That's what I tell them it's all about.
I want to thank the organizers of the DCEV Grand Prix for putting on such an awesome event. And I want to give congratulations to all the teams that competed, but especially to first place, Harrisonburg High School Blue Streaks with 66 completed laps. Second place, Stuart Straft High School Short Circuits with 65 laps. And third place, Harrisonburg High School Rocktown Raptors with 63 laps completed. Wheaton High School Society of Women Engineers won Best Event Team Promotion and the Women in Science and Engineering Awards. If you would like to learn more about the DCEV Grand Prix, you can visit their webpage, globaleee.org, or find them on Facebook at facebook.com/DCEVGP. If you've enjoyed this podcast and would like to hear more, please subscribe to wherever you like to watch or listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're looking to stay plugged into the EV community, head over to ev-resource.com for the very best educational resources, community connections, EV reviews, and a whole lot more. The EV Resource Podcast is a production of EV Resource and is supported by viewers and listeners just like you. Members of the EV Resource Patreon family are, at the director tier, Rajiv Narayan and Andy Cooper. At the executive producer tier, Christopher Lawrence, and at the producer tier, Eric Weber and Tony Stuntz. If you're interested in ad-free episodes of the podcast, EV Resource merchandise, support recognition, and more, head over to patreon.com/EVResource. If you have any feedback, please email hello@ev-resource.com and put podcast feedback in the subject line. I've been your host, Zach Hurst. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll catch you next time.